With Lightfall's story basically not coming to a conclusion, not answering any of the questions we've had, and just giving us more questions, the seasons have been confirmed to be more important than ever when it comes to the events of Lightfall, and it will connect a lot of the events from Lightfall into the final shape. So, with Season of Defiance, Season of the Deep, Season 22 and 23, these will be seasons we have to look at very importantly. And I gotta admit, I think these seasons will be better than the Year 5 and Year 4 seasons if Bungie does them correctly. So, in this video, I really wanted to look at a lot of leaked information for Season of the Deep. I feel that Season of the Deep is really where the kickstart of all the narrative hints and questions start being answered, and it will be the big season. With Year 4 and Year 5, Season of the Chosen and Season of the Haunted, you could say for both of those years, were really when stuff started to connect. With Season of the Chosen, we learned more about Keitel, and that was a big, huge, narrative season. Everyone loved the gameplay in that season. And then Season of the Haunted, of course, it got some complaints, but it started leaning us into the direction of who was the main boss going to be in the Lightfall campaign, being Callus. So we learned a lot in those two seasons. And now Season of the Deep looks like to be another big season, but even important than ever because the events of it will probably be very big for the final shape. Spoilers in this video, I wouldn't say too much of big spoilers if you don't want to be, spoiled, I should say, but at the same time, there comes a time where people will become hesitant with Bungie and people want to know about the future after their so-called not great expansion known as Lightfall. So we're really just going to go in here and look at the future. Of course, stuff can change, everything's subject to change, but here's some stuff that will be likely happening. Now, if you don't know, if you go to the destination tab real quick and you look at where the Traveler has the portal thing, veil thing, I really don't know what that is. You see that the space between the Traveler and around it, as well as the helm, is all changed proportionally. Now, you're probably like, oh, this is not a big deal, Redrix. What are you saying, Redrix? Well, big thing here is that this could be an indication that we're getting new locations or returning locations all over that area. They adjusted all the planets at a different angle, and I know every year they do, but it actually makes it big for them because they can actually put destinations on those areas that we can tap into in the seasons. Season of the Deep will focus on a returning planet from the Red War coming back, which will be the planet known as Titan. Some things already knowing is that Season of the Deep will have the dungeon, as Season of the Deep will have a new dungeon, will be focused on the planet Titan. Now, something interesting to put out, but the new exotic quest for the exotic stasis glaive actually indicates of an enemy of the witness on the place Titan. And if you didn't know, with the Witch Queen, they hinted at the Nephi stronghold, which is the destination known as Neomuna, basically, that we're playing today. So looking at a lot of dialogue from Exotic Quest really indicate what's going to happen next if you pay attention to the lore. So it looks like Bungie's already hinting at the location of Titan returning, and with that we could see something resembling around the Season of the Haunted style, where they actually return a good portion of Titan with, areas, and maybe even increase it even bigger with the new dungeon being there. If you played Season of the Haunted, you would know that the Leviathan came back and the dungeon was there, and it was actually a decent space, I gotta say, for a season. I wish it was bigger, but we had a public event that was probably not received very great, but we did have something that was interesting, and it really changed how season styles can go anywhere. We never really seen a destination really reprised just for a season, and it's capable for Bungie to show off that they can. So Season of the Deep can focus on the planet Titan, and it is realistic for them to make a dungeon on that area. So something to look at there. Now, some of the weapons were leaked for Season of the Deep, which is very interesting to point out because they look a lot of the taken weapons, apparently, said in the Destiny 2 leak server. There's apparently a stasis submachine gun, a strand pulse rifle, a stasis sniper, a strand shotgun, a void aggressive hand cannon, and a strand sword. As Bungie did, introduce strand as a new subclass, expect this year to really focus on bringing more strand weapons than how Year 4 dealt with stasis in terms of bringing all the weapons. Stasis was only brought back, well, a lot of weapons were brought to stasis around Season of the Deep, and even then those weapons weren't received that great, and that was just a huge, complaint for many. So Bungie is going to probably plan to increase more weapons with the strand element and probably make them a bit more potent than ever, as they want to, keep going and increasing the strand subclass to new limits. I don't know now if Bungie are planning a new subclass for the final shape, as things have not been said. There has been no leaked information on anything if Bungie is even planning a new subclass. Me personally, I feel like they shouldn't do it, as the reception from Strand has gotten many to just be like, what is this? This subclass sucks. This subclass was too integrated to the story. I feel like Bungie, I think they wanted to just bring another subclass, and I think that will close off all the subclasses. Even though I would love a subclass damage type 6, I think it's likely that we are not getting one, unfortunately, which really just sucks. I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but it's something just to point out. Now, apparently there's going to be a new exotic glaive in the season, and some Season 21 PvE buffs were leaked as well. Again, take a grain of salt, but apparently auto rifles with a 25% buff, pulse rifles, sidearms, and hand cannons with a 20% buff, scouts with a 10% buff, and values are damaged against minors and majors and orange bars. So those will be what some weapon buffs will be like, which is very interesting. Season 21 weapons will be something that we saw that I just told you, with having the Reckoning weapons, reprised Reckoning weapons, but Taken. They're really interesting how Taken is coming back in like a new style of weapons. Reckoning weapons will return as well, and the Taken variants use the same model but are a new archetype. It's one that is something new, and it's something that's very intriguing to many. The Loaded Question and the Braytech Osprey will return for the Nightfall weapons. Randy's Throwing Knife will also come back into the Crucible, as well as Last Wish will be reprised. So it's a lot of things there that's fairly interesting. And again, I am just like super hyped for this season, as I feel like Season of the Deep really indicates a lot of stuff that could happen for the narrative. Now, Season 21, people have said they don't know anything about the exotics, unfortunately, but it looks like dungeon will be on Titan, which is looking like very confirmed at this point. However, we need to take a grain of salt on these things. We don't know if anything is likely to be confirmed, but Season of the Deep could be speculating, could be looking at a lot of the Hive, Worm Gods, Xethorath, Savathun in any way. And they could also indicate the fish monster, the monster under the ocean that was been questioned for years under the Titan surface, that got no really huge plot in the Forsaken or the Shadowkeep story at all. It was there, no one knew really anything about it. So Season of the Deep could answer a lot of questions leaning to that, which will be really cool. So again, that will make the Season of the Deep, burst out and talk about how the enemy of my enemy is your friend, because like the exotic glaive said, there's an enemy of the witness on Titan. We need to maybe make them an ally. We need to build up guys, build up allies, build up places that we were taken by the witness. Now that the witness is basically gone in our solar system and gone somewhere we cannot follow, we should take back the planets that we lost. So how about every season we focus on retaking another planet or something like that? It'll be very interesting if Bungie plans to go that route. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, I hope you guys are having a great day and am hyped for the season. Season 21, 22, and 23 are becoming massively important, as well as Season of Defiance, because that's really the kickstart to some of the bigger seasons that will kickstart the narrative for Lightfall and the final shape. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.